Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word for Everton 1, Leicester City 2. Got Matt Jones with us, and we are out the FA Cup. Yeah, we can concentrate on finishing 7th, Baz.
We can?
Yeah.
6th?
Yeah.
I'm not, if you may as well pack up and go home. There's 18 games to go. If you're throwing a towel in already with 18 games to go, that's sad. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I think that's a different video.
Yeah.
But people were messaging me on Twitter saying now we can focus on the league and being completely sincere
They're
about
idiots, though. They're idiots.
Oh, I completely agree.
I don't mind calling people idiots who are idiots. I'm not into this whole. The FA Cup doesn't mean anything anyway. It's a trophy, isn't it? It's what you want to win it. Yeah. You want to win it. You know, you want to win every trophy. Definitely. And we, you know, it's not like they didn't try and win the game. They set up to win the game. Maybe it's just
really strange.
It was a strange game, and I almost feel the comments afterwards have almost created a different narrative to the game, because for 60 minutes, a little bit over 60 minutes, we were completely in control of the game. Okay, didn't make that many chances, but hey ho, what's new? But we were completely in control of the game, and it just felt like just a couple of moments of switching off as Costa's going through into the next round.
I haven't said that we can concentrate on the league, by the way.
No, I know.
No, that's exactly what it was. I was just saying to Matt off air there, and at the time we were in total control of the game. In that, for an hour, it was, you know, Leicester in the first half were struggling to get the ball away, let alone get out their own half. But for all of our dominance, like you said, there was very little chances, and that has been, I can trace that back to Middlesbrough.
A theme is what you'd say.
Remember when we sat here, I think, after the Middlesbrough game, going, we were 3-1 up at half time, we come on in the second half and didn't do anything. That feels like that's gone just every single week now. You know, we don't have games where we have 25 attempts at goal. We don't, you know, we don't shoot. That's the biggest thing.
2 shots on target, didn't we? The weekend.
Is that what it was?
The goal, obviously, the
Morales
shot as well from Schmeichel. But I think that is a trend. And if you think back to some of the games we played this season, and even in games which we've won, like the Arsenal game, I think we had 3 shots on target that night. The Liverpool game, we had 1 shot on target.
We are quite clinical, aren't we?
Yeah, that's the positive.
We're quite clinical when it comes to scoring goals.
But we just look very one-dimensional, and when you look at the squad, there's a lot of one-dimensional players in there, so it's not that big a surprise. And I think we were talking about this on the Blue Room after the Derby, about how teams like Liverpool have a lot of players who are multifaceted, that can do different things, and I think they've got players who can work hard, they can create, and they can play in a few different positions, do a good job there. I think you look at Everton's squad, you've got players who, like Lukaku, who you can just say he's a goal scorer, that's pretty much it. Aaron Lennon will run up and down the line for you. You know, there's not players in there you can say he'll put a shift in and he'll create and he'll do this and he'll do that. And I think that's where we need to improve the squad and get more players in.
That's a really good point, because that, you know, you talk about what we've got in the squad and how we use them. It is that you've got players. We have, don't get me wrong, we've got players at the squad in the squad that can create. Gerard Deulofeu can create, but he's one-dimensional because essentially that's all he can do. So he doesn't do the other side of it. So you go, well, we've got loads of workers but they don't create. But then someone like Gerard Deulofeu is the flip side. He can create but he doesn't do anything else, and the manager, rightly so, wants players who can do both, because when you look at Liverpool, when you look at Spurs, they don't have world-class players, and I don't care what anyone says, those two teams do not have world-class players. What they have is players who can do the creative thing and the hard work thing, and that's almost what cuts the corner. It's not cutting the corner because that's what you expect, but we've got players who are either one or the other. Okay, Ross is a little bit of both, and Rom's a little bit of both, but there's nobody who has both. Not many that have both sides of it, and until he gets in, and I think this is his biggest gripe, is that until he gets those players in that can do those things, then we're not going to move on. And it's the thing with Valencia as well. Valencia's got a little tiny bit of both, But at least and that's why he sort of likes him, or he's favoured him the last few weeks, is that at least he's got a little bit of both. And that's where, I think, saying on Deulofeu, where he's just dropped down the pecking order. So...
It was weird, because the team, you put that side out and you looked, and it was a strong side. I think we all knew Gareth Barry was going to play, because there was no one else really. He could have tried Cleverly there, but we're all fed up with Cleverly, aren't we?
I think so.
In there, so we've not.
Newcastle, isn't he?
So the story goes. So, so therefore, with all of that, it was quite a strong side. Holgate come back in, happy to see Mason Holgate back in there. He's tried Seamus Coleman. There was quite a few of our viewers said try. Ad for one had said, I think he's alright further up, he might do us. And the first half, it kind of worked, other than the final third, and that's been all season. Take out Watford away was a horrendous defensive display.
Yeah.
And Chelsea away was embarrassing. Even though they were brilliant defensively, we were embarrassing. I think other than those two games, in general, we've been alright at the back. Yeah. And he's got us more solid after Watford, hasn't he? He's got us a little bit more shape. But one thing he's not managed to solve is the final third. And like you've just said, Deulofeu will come in and he set the goal up when he come on at the weekend. I thought he had a decent game last time he started against Watford away, created some stuff. But then he comes on against Arsenal for half an hour and it's knackered after 5 minutes. So you're going, Morales is up and down. So already... But back to Ron. So that's why Valencia's been a kind of a solution. And like we've said many times, he's a template rather than the answer. That's what you need, but you need better quality. Yeah. But he's still, for me, Donald Koeman, he's putting it out there, isn't he, and saying, these aren't my players, and this is it. And us as fans, we look and go, these aren't good enough. And we know they're not good enough, because we've watched it for year after year after year after year. And again, I say it loads of times, they're either a 2 or they're an 8, and we ain't got any 7s every week, and that's the problem.
It's the style of play as well, I think, in that attacking third that we've got. I remember when we did the season preview show for last season, so 15-16, and we were talking about the squad, and I remember saying that I think we've got a lot of players who like to play in straight lines and need space with the ball in front of them to run into to be effective on the game. We haven't got players who go the other way. You move across the pitch, pick little pockets. I know you hate the phrase pass, but on number 10, someone who links the play, someone like Stephen Pienaar, that type of player who can come off the flank, find those little gaps and just knit everything together, play those little passes, win cheap free kicks, and we're still sitting here now 18 months on, and we still haven't got that type of player. And I think if you can consider the lack of chances we created this season, how we've only had so many shots on target in all these different games, I think that in itself is linked back to that. And while we need another striker as well, definitely, I think just having somebody in that final third who can create those chances for those sorts of plays as well is crucial. Because at the moment we just seem a little bit rudderless when we get get the ball on the edge of the box, and we've seen it time after time at the weekend when Leicester was sat deep. We just knocked it round, side to side, Holgate crossed, hit the first man, went out to Baines, fished across the box, not really much there. I think we need a little bit more ingenuity when we get to those positions.
Yeah, and we don't have any centre midfielders who burst into the box either to run past the centre forward to knock those little, the crosses that get smashed across the box that the centre forward has dropped into space in the penalty spot. You never have a Tim Cahill, Frank Lampard in there who that's how they got all their goals, especially Frank Lampard, by gambling on that and running past the centre forward. I think what we've seen last couple of games was he's tried Ross off one side, and I think that potentially could work, but he needs the players around him to complement him. But the irony about this game as well is probably one of the reasons why we lost it is because of that search for creativity. He took Holgate off to try and drop Seamus in, because Seamus was pretty much in no man's land. He was finding himself he kept on finding himself with nowhere to go, because Holgate was getting so far up the right that it just made Seamus' position
really narrow, wasn't it?
But it just made that's where you need one of those players who've got something a little bit more to them, and it left Seamus just isolated. And I tweeted at our time, if Seamus drops either to right back or right wing back, I think we'll win this. But he dropped them right in, but taking Holgate off, and in the end, I think that might have cost us the game, because Holgate was. Holgate truly is a centre back, and then he ends up playing right back, and then in this game he ends up playing basically right wing. So you've just took a player from one position almost halfway up the pitch, and he is hitting the first man every time, because that's not necessarily his job. You know, he's not a winger. The deliveries were quite poor, so he's put Seamus in there, and the mad thing is, I think Holgate might actually be a better defender already in his career than Seamus is. I think he's already more switched on, and we've seen second half. Seamus wasn't switched on, was he, for their goal? But before we, not jumping, but it was the irony of searching for more for the breakthrough that in the end it might have undone us.
But I don't know, because I think the problem with Seamus is, you're right, because Holgate was bombing on. He was coming inside. He's not good enough, technically, to play inside. But he wasn't going outside either.
No.
So he really was tucked in. Now I don't know whether that was instruction off the manager. I don't know. Cut inside. But when we beat Leicester on Boxing Day, I know we played 3-5-2, but he was outstanding, Coleman. He was right on the touchline. His boots were white and all that. He was up and down, and they had a real problem dealing with him. Yeah. This game, he was tucked in and we were narrow, but I was watching, I was looking at the shape of us when we've got the ball in the final third, and if it's with Baines and it's just two lines of, it's like a 3, a 1, and then 4 across, and there's only ever one man in the box.
Yeah.
And Lukaku was going out trying to get involved in the game, so when he come out the box, there was literally nobody in the box.
That all the time as well.
And Valencia was dropping in wide.
To the edge of the box.
And that's why when we got the breakthrough against Southampton, one of the genuine reasons was because we had 4 in the box. With Lukaku getting the header, we had Valencia, we had Morales, we had lots of people causing trouble, and in this game we just didn't, and we just didn't make it hard enough for them in the first half. And like where I was sitting, I was in the main stand, and Seamus Coleman was right in front of me, and he just kept on trying to. It was almost like he was looking to play 1-2s with Holgate.
Yeah.
Like he was dropping in that space, and Holgate was like, I'm not that kind of player. I'm not going to do it. I'm happy enough just getting the ball and trying to put, because he, not saying he looked nervous, but he's a young player. He knows the importance of the game, and he just. I would prefer that half time. I would have preferred Holgate to have dropped into a 3 at the back. Seamus to have gone right wing back. I probably would have just took Gareth Barry off at half time and just said, let's go with 3 at the back. Let's have 2 wing backs. Seamus then will play his natural role, which is bombing down the right, because that's where he's always better. We had a comment in the comments video, and it was like he can't defend.
So who would you have put on?
Who would have put on?
Maybe you'd say Gareth Barry.
Well, maybe I wouldn't have took him off. Maybe I would have just moved it round.
This is why it's such a weird game, though, because the change the managers did make at half time was directly responsible for us going ahead.
Well, it was, and you're right, and I've been picked up on that as well, because I said that in my video. But at what cost?
I think it personal. I think he could have took Coleman off at half time and just left Holgate at right back, because.
But wouldn't have whoever replaced them have found the same problem?
No, because I think the Seamus Coleman's got no awareness.
No, but
whereas Holgate didn't get done once, Spike, right? Not once.
No, I know.
Oh, yeah,
but I think what Coleman started to
Musa come on after 25 minutes. I didn't realise he was playing till the second half.
You might be right, because I'm
not saying he should have took Coleman off. I'm just saying I can understand why he put Delafeu on, because everything was okay until the final third, and he was probably thinking, we're not really getting anything.
Yeah.
We're not getting enough off the right hand side. Coleman's coming inside. Holgate, like you were saying, and you both said, his crossing wasn't great. So we're having the ball in those areas, but we're getting nothing. Yeah. Whereas Delafeu might just unlock them. Like you've just said, he did unlock them. The issue was for me, it's not even about Seamus Coleman, although
it's not.
His part was ridiculous in the goal, because it's so basic, it's untrue. But the problem was that he took Valencia off. That was my issue with it. Yeah. And I know we scored about 90 seconds after he took him off, but he puts Delafeu on, takes Holgate off. We stay at the 4-4-2. They're still camped in their half. We're not really doing much. But Valencia has that bicycle kick, doesn't he, just before he goes off, which is half a chance, and you're going, okay, but we're still pressing them. He takes him off for Morales, and then you think, okay, well, if you bring Morales on, just go like for like. Don't put Morales on the left and change the system, because we're all over him. put Morales next to Lukaku, like he played in the second half on Boxing Day. And Morales comes on and goes and stands in our half. So all of a sudden you're looking, then Ross is like, well, where am I going? And then Rom's like got his arms out as if to say, oh, it's isolate me time now, is it? Then we score, and it kind of takes the focus off that then, and you think, oh, alright, it's a great goal. Delafeu does brilliantly, because that kid's decent to left back. Great ball across, Ron tucks it in, and from that moment on we should have gone on and put them to bed, and we didn't, because the shape affected how we then played.
It reminded me of a game we played, I think, in Moyes' last season. I think we were away at Tottenham and we were drawing 1-1, and we had to each be up front, and he brought Jelavic on and we scored straight away, and it was almost as if the substitution worked a little bit too quickly, because then we had half an hour to go. We had these strikers on in the attacking system, really late on. It was kind of like, what do we do now? I think if you look at half time, we'd already made one substitution and we bring in Delafeu on. You made the second one and bring in Morales on. And when did we score? Was it about 65 minutes? Something like that?
61. It was literally about a minute after.
It worked straight away. It was kind of like, alright, we changed it now. What do we do next?
It's like the classic. Yeah, it's like the classic of when a team are like chasing and then they get to like, they'll get an equaliser and they go to extra time. And I said, well, what do we do now? We've got 12 attacking players on them. We're only allowed 11. I think that my main issue is defensively. We were just so bad.
Yeah.
But don't you think that we allowed them? Because of the shape. Because when Valencia was closer to Rom, because they a couple of times in the first half they linked up brilliantly and it just didn't quite come off. We had the one where Valencia should slide Rom in, and he hesitates, then he hits it over it. But there was the other one, the little back heel by Valencia, and he spun. Rom gives him it back. They were nice and bright, and they had Morgan and Huth occupied because they had to look at two of them, and their fullbacks can't bomb them because Valencia and Rom were going in between the two. So they were sat deep. When Rom then is on his own and they've got space, they just went forward 5 yards, and then we never ever got a grip. Once they equalised, we didn't get a grip of the game again. That was it.
Would you say? See, I'm more critical of the players than the manager. I think his subs were weird, but I'm still more critical of the players, because for me, when we scored, I think our senior players should have just got hold of it. As you see it, and just say, listen, keep the shape for 5 minutes. Don't start being stupid. You know what's going to come next. Musa was on the pitch. All his pace. They had loads of pace up front. Actually, I was more annoyed. I was actually disappointed when Joe went off, because I thought it's quite easy to deal with him. You know what you're going to get. But soon as they had basically Gray and Musa, proper pace.
But we coped.
No, but what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying.
Minutes.
For that minute, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. For that, when they score, you just think, well, you know what's coming now. Yeah. It's going to be pure pace. It's going to be passes inside the fullbacks. It's going to be try and get these two going and catch it on the break. Because in the first half, they tried to catch us 2 or 3 times, and they done all right, nearly caught us out, but just not quite. And I just thought it was up to the senior players there to just calm everyone down, sit in for 5 minutes. It's a cup game, so you know they're going to throw everything at you, because really they've come at best to get a replay.
Yeah, they are.
I don't think they would have been too fussed if they just got
exactly. You've seen that by the team. Vardy wasn't even on the bench. Do you know what I mean? It's like they weren't asked. Like Norwich were, funny enough, they weren't asked, and you just think that's where players on the pitch have to earn the money. We're senior players, we're leaders, we're captains, we're whatever. Just have to say, lads, let's just calm this down. Just keep your shape. Two banks of 4 or whatever for 5-10 minutes. Just get through that, and then we'll go on and win the game. We'll be okay. Yeah. We'll be okay. But to give a goal up that quickly, and then to give a second goal up that quickly, we're just all over the shop.
Well, this is why I agree with you in the sense that it's more the players' fault than the manager, because this is the same group of senior players who conceded an equaliser against Bournemouth in the 98th minute. They conceded a 98th minute equaliser against Chelsea in that game. They let 2-0 lead slip against West Ham later on in that game. We've seen time after time that this group of players isn't capable of taking responsibility late in games and seeing things out, and that it was the nature of that equaliser goal which was really disappointing for me as well, because like you said there, Ped, the players they had on the pitch, it was always going to be that type of goal where they're going to try and thread a little ball in, catches on the break. And the fact that first of all, the gap between the centre back and the full back was so massive, was bad enough, and then Coleman's just total lack of awareness in itself was another really disappointing point in it. But yeah, I think you can say about what the manager maybe should have done at half time, how he should have reacted before the goal, but when you get 1-0 up against a team that don't really want to win the game, you should be looking to see it out from that point. Then, and the players on the pitch that we had at the time should have been able to do that.
I just so frustrated with how easy it was to pick us off though, and I don't understand why when you're playing against players who can catch pigeons like them two can, the lightning, why are we on the halfway line when we haven't got a fast defender in that back foot? Exactly. Coleman's not slow, but he's not lightning.
And he's also not aware, which gives players a yard on him.
He's a yard behind. Probably in a straight line, he'd probably do all right if they're both running and his head's on it. Williams isn't quick, we know that. Funes Mori isn't quick, and Bainesy isn't quick. So why are we so far up the pitch? If we scored, you know, where was Gareth Barry? He never moves away from the defenders. Where the friggin' hell was he? Yeah. You know, we should have been just sat on the edge of our box there. Drew them in and said to Ron, for 5 minutes we're going to just hit corner flags, just get after it and win throw-ins, and we'll just let this game settle a little bit. Don't give these any, they've got to come at us now, we're winning. Don't give them any space in behind us, nothing cheap, and we're right on the halfway line. It's a straight ball. Coleman doesn't know until he turns around that Gray's run off him. Then even with that, our two centre-backs have got one striker to mark. Now, I don't know, I haven't watched it again because I couldn't bring myself to watch it again. I don't know whether Joel could cut the cross out, I don't know. But our two centre-backs have both let him get across them, and it's embarrassing. It's a really poor goal to concede.
It's slow to react, isn't it?
And even when it's the post,
I think you said the post. The Mane goal, it's exactly
when there's the post, Williams is like, it's dead slow, and it, but that's just. I mean,
then the second goal's even. I mean, that's criminal.
I'll hold me on to saying the second goal's brilliant.
It's a good goal, but there are a lot of our players just chasing shadows.
But Morgan and Huth allow us to play down them like that.
No way.
There's not a chance.
The thing about
I think, listen, you've got to give them a bit of credit.
But the thing, he took it brilliantly. It was a nice.
The thing about the second goal is, though, it's if you watch it, it's every man in midfield is playing as an individual. So therefore, there's no communication. There's no, we've all played football. You shout at you come here, stand here, double up. But you watch that goal, it's he does him, and there's at no point does anyone go get here next to us. We'll see this. We'll move him that way. Ross is chasing. Tom Davies is chasing. Gareth Barry's chasing. Funes Mori's chasing. They're all just chasing around individual players. It's like catch the fucking pigeon. Honestly, it is.
Does it get slid through the middle of our defence?
Goes through someone's legs.
They're just getting dragged. It's like literally. It's like
because I was watching it and I was thinking, put a tackle in. Gareth Barry's just like.
But that's what I'm saying.
Put a tackle. Nothing comes in. And he just pops it off, runs, gets it straight through, and our defence just goes like that.
But it's just like a third man run. That's what I'm saying. There's no communication for one player to say, you stand there and I'll come round the back and make sure that run's not going to happen. It's all just they just pull us to bits. We are all individuals at that point.
It's just another area of the team, isn't it? That we look at and think it needs major surgery again. The back four. I think Maury had a few decent games over the Christmas period, but it was just all those old bad habits just came back again.
He's got no positional awareness.
Yeah, just letting the ball.
There was
bounce.
one good. There was one in the second half where the ball was on the edge. It was just on the touchline, and he had a chance to put his foot through it, and he divid. The lad blocks it, and Ashley Williams has to bring him down on the edge of the box. And I'm just thinking, for the sake of you. If it was a sausage on a hot dog, you would have put it out faster. He would just. I'm not having I'm not his biggest fan, and the reason I'm not his biggest fan because I just don't think he's a very good player. But for 10 minutes he's chasing shadows, and we know what Ashley Williams' shortcomings are. We didn't sign him for his lightning place. We signed him because he can organise a defence. But sooner or later you've got to put a bit of pace next to him because. And that's why I would have gone. That's why I know it's hindsight, but 3 at the back with Holgate is a brilliant insurance policy.
And it worked against Leicester.
It's an insurance policy because the lad's fast, and he's quite astute for a young man as well. He's quite a good defender. All right, what he gets caught out for the basic things being the defender, he makes up for in other areas. But he's not like a John Stones where he's trying to be all elegant. Yeah, he can actually defend, but he's got that. Yeah, and I just think having 3 at the back gives you that insurance that.
Yeah.
You know,
and Joel as well. Joel with that pass out to Murray.
Oh, that pass.
He done it the other day against Southampton, got us in the trouble. And again, it's weekend. Instead of just launching it, of where we had men up, he's messing around over it, and then he's putting his hand up, because that, I think that's what it come from. He hit the ball to Murray's, it's could have cleared it, it doesn't. They eventually block, and you're like, what are you?
You can say shit back, can't you, to just basic things.
Basic errors.
But I mean, we've gone 2-1 down, and you know, okay. I mean, our goal was good. Delafay does the thing that I always says he doesn't do. Where he runs past them with pace, which I always say he doesn't do, and it winds me up because he just stands there with his hands on his hips and goes, you know what, I'll beat you, and they go, no, you won't, lad, because you're fast, but you're not that fast. And he does them, and it's brilliant, but he didn't do that again all game, which is like, lad, you've got one trick, do it, because I know people have built their careers on one trick. If they're good at it, Andres Cancelo used to just shift it to the right, nitty. He was good at it, and he was fast, so he could do it all the time. Ian Robin's another one. Built a career out of shifting the ball right, because he's very fast and can do it. You know, he didn't do that again.
He just went back to lollipop.
He did. Oh my God, he lollipopped me 8 times and then kicked it into the crowd.
Yeah, was that the one at the very end?
Oh my God, it was a separate one. It was a separate.
Just fired it. The other one when he lollipopped and just stabbed it and it just bobbled into the side net.
It was embarrassing that.
Just put it across.
That's the sad thing. The sad thing is when we went 2-1 down, there was no reaction.
No.
There was no reaction anywhere. Fans as well. You got
no reaction from the crowd.
No reaction. There was almost a. The reaction was, we know we're going out.
Yeah. I think that I've just said. Our crowd were quiet, and that's not like us really. But I think there was that. I think we were noisy when we scored, and then that's it. Then you think, like,
but they kicked it out of us so quickly.
But then they scored, and then I think everyone and the player. I think we've all just been that many times that we just went.
Sometimes you know what's going on.
And you could sense it when it went 1-1. I could just sense that because there was no quick reaction. Sometimes I remember when City equalised last year in the semi-final.
Yeah,
and we just picked. No one's heads went down. We just went, let's go again. The crowd were noisy, and we went bangs, and we scored again. Lukaku scored again, quick. But when they scored at the weekend, you just felt everyone go. I think everyone was going. We beat Southampton. We had a good ATM.
Yeah, that's it.
Usmanov boats arrived. This is typical Everton. You know what bound to get beat.
I see in the build-up, everyone was saying it's going to be typical Everton. We had such a good week. We had a good run of form. They're going to just end it all now. And as soon as that second goal's in, people do just sit back in the seats.
But to be fair as well, though.
Here we go again.
To be fair as well, it comes back to the fact that was our real first chance of the game. Okay, there's one in the first half which I think Rom should have scored from when Schmeichel flicked it up and he had the header. I don't know.
It's quite high.
Yeah, he didn't.
Excuses.
Listen,
we don't win anything because of your excuses.
You know that I won't. You know that I won't let him off.
But that's the problem, isn't it? You're not making chances.
Ross went all Gascoigne on us. 96 went Rom's cross.
But if you're not putting pressure on, if you're not creating chances and putting pressure on, there isn't going to be that belief. You think we're going to get one goal. Because I'm sitting there going, one goal we'll win this. One goal we will win this. Because the way we were playing, we were so compact. They weren't getting anything. And one goal. And when we scored that one goal, I think a lot of people probably thought, that's it. That's the winning goal. And when they equalised, they thought, we haven't got it in us to go get another goal.
If he wouldn't have changed the shape and we'd have got the goal, we probably would have won it.
Well, it's dead weird. See, this is where
that's what you say. That spell, it was just so mad and at odds with the rest of the game.
But that's
like you said, it was in a way, it was like almost too easy for Everton, wasn't it?
He took Barkley off.
That was a weird one.
You're 2-1 down.
That was strange.
In an FA Cup tie when you may as well get beat 5-1. You're losing anyway. You're going out. It's not, we'll sort it the second leg, stay tight. He took Ross off, who's our most creative player and is likely to run up and down all day.
For a fella that I thought was in Disneyland.
Well, I didn't know where he was. In the airport.
I thought he was in Disneyland
with kids and a woman who, might have been his mum, or it might have just been
taxiing on the side
and then
Ubering.
Maybe he's been Ubering on the side, and he was.
I honestly can't believe I didn't.
And then played on the left wing.
And then he come on and went on the left wing, and I thought.
And the mad thing was,
Graham Jones was going to step.
The mad thing was, he had a decent chance as well. The ball got cut inside, and he was like doing that stupid. When he could have just had a clear shot.
He had one where he had loads of players around him, and Baines was just bombing into the box on the left hand side. And he kept on going the other way. They're just knocking it out. But I think that was. Well, I don't necessarily agree with it. I think that might have been a little bit of a statement from the manager to say, look at what I've got to work
I mean,
with
to be honest, there's not much to talk about of the game. It was just a shite game, to be honest. But I mean, his comments are really interesting, aren't they? Because they sort of, the comments are probably, have changed the narrative, as I said earlier, because in one way you can look at them going, well, he's just deflecting the attention away from maybe himself or even the players. But another way, he's basically just said it, hasn't he? He said, look what I've got, look at what I've got to wear. All right, bad tradesmen and all that, blames his tools, but he basically said, look what I've got to work with. He basically pointed at that Coney sub and said, this is what I've got to work with. I was promised things, they haven't been delivered. All right, the words have been manipulated in different ways. People are saying he's blaming Walsh, people are saying he's blaming the board. For me, for me, it almost felt like he was saying, me and Walsh know what we want. Or maybe I'm in the wrong there. But what he's clearly saying is, he's not got the players in that he was expecting at this point. Because I know people will go, it's only the first week. Fucking hell, I was expecting 4 in the first week, and I don't think that was unfair to be asking for 4 in the first week. I really don't. I really do not think
you were expecting 4 in the first week.
Yeah, I'm an idiot, aren't I?
Leicester had the lad in their team, didn't he? Who'd signed already.
We'd have had Luckman if he wasn't cup side, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I'm not defending it because I thought. I honestly thought we'd have Schneiderlin in by now.
I think there's a difference between having a lad in there who's ready to go. Start a game like that though, because even if Luckman could have played, I don't think he would have started.
No. But I would expect. I honestly expected.
I thought Schneiderlin would be.
I honestly expected a couple in like Luckman and another one for the future or whatever. Schneiderlin and maybe Depay, but I understand why they haven't gone in for Depay because they'll probably just wait till near the end with the money. But I honestly, we have been sitting here every week for at least 3 months and have known what the issues are, and Koeman has been sitting there basically telling everyone what the issues are, for now to be going into the second week and still be haggling over the number 1 target, I think is an absolute disgrace. And I'm not arsed, and I put a video out, and I know that, and when I done my video yesterday, I wasn't expecting the reaction to it because I didn't honestly start with the intentions to be like laying into people. But the more it went on, for me, it's the same people at the club making the same decisions, and those people need to be fucked off. And I've said this before. I'm not. One of them gave me a dirty look on Saturday as well. Yeah, you did. Are
you surprised?
No. Because the week before I'd been on radio and said he should have lost the job as well.
Life for going in the hospitality.
Well, I went in the hospitality because I was invited in the hospitality. So what? Meant I didn't have to buy a ticket.
So was I.
But you didn't go.
I went in my own.
Man of the people, Baz.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, I'm man of the lamb, so I don't give a fuck. Man of the free ale. No, but there's people at that club who. Do you know what? Right, you can have as many people as you want. You can have as much money as you want. But if you don't have good people making the day-to-day decisions, you're never going to get anywhere. It doesn't matter. People have lost just as much money as they make by having dickheads making the day-to-day decisions. Machini's not even on the board. You know, this idea that he sits there pulling strings, he's not even on the board. Those people on the board, certainly the ones that have been at the club for the last 20 years, should be just moved on. Because for me, if it's going to be a clean sweep at Everton, a real clean sweep, it needs proper people doing those jobs. As I called them, bastards need to be doing the job. Proper bastards. Bastards who'll come in and do the bastard jobs.
That's what we need.
Need to sack everyone.
Well, essentially it feels like that. But to be fair,
just get that goalie coach doing everything.
To be fair though, at Everton there has been so much turnover in the last 18 months of management and staff and stuff behind the scenes to get good people in, and yet the people at the very top are still sitting in there in the fucking ivory tower. Machiri, fuck them off. None of them have got yachts. One of them's had to mortgage his house 4 times. Fuck him off. Fuck him off. None of their nieces are on fucking Instagram showing me how much weight they've lost in the last 4 months. Bin them off. Bin them off.
Right. So
I'd like to know who's in charge of what before you start saying that. And I think from what I can decipher is that Koeman says the type of players he wants. Steve Walsh goes and isolates players who might be available, and then Bill Kenwright and Robert Elston, etc., the people who do the negotiations to get them in. And I think I agree with you, Ped. I think they have been misinterpreted by a lot of people in the media and like construed in different ways. But from what I got from listening to him, it seemed as if he was saying, "Me and Steve Walsh are on the same page." It's from even higher up where we need a bit of support.
Let me just ask you a very quick question, then you can come back on this. Right? Would you expect a man who used to be a teacher to be negotiating £1 million transfers? Genuinely, would you expect that?
No, but I wouldn't expect a theatre impresario to be.
But he's a businessman, and his mate's a businessman.
I know, but he's coming in. That depends, doesn't it? Because I don't know where Steve Walsh's duties begin and end.
But would you expect a man who is essentially? I'm not going to say he's a glorified. I'm not going to.
Is this Steve Walsh?
Yeah, I'm not going to say he's a glorified scout because he's not a glorified scout.
He's done it, hasn't he?
He's got his role. But what I'm saying is, you still would. You wouldn't say he's a man who's going to sit down and thrash out the negotiations. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
The Koeman thing is, the fact I like the fact that he's come out and called it. I do.
It's 23 years in the making.
I'll address that bit in a minute. The first bit is you can't get away from the fact he's paid an awful lot of money to improve these players.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I agree.
It's all right bitching about wanting new shiny things, and that's great, and we all do. We've said it for months and said it for years now, to be fair, haven't we? A lot of these players need bombing. When people are arguing with me over Morales and different things, Morales is just one of a number who's let me down week after week. It's not only Kevin Morales, there's a lot of them, and so I want to see a change in personnel. There's no question about that. Gerard Deulofeu's got loads of skill. Ronald Koeman, it's his job to get the best out of him, and if he can't get the best out of him, swerve him, get rid of him. However, we're not gonna sell a whole team in this transfer window. So when it finishes on the 31st of January, or if it's the 1st of February, whatever it is, he's gonna have to work with half of this team still, even if he's brought 4 or 5 in, and he should be getting the best out of it. When we look around, look at the other. Camel over the park there, Llama, whatever you want to call, Chews, and Camel's Chew as well. When you look at him, he's improved some players there. You mentioned Pochettino before. He's gone in and improved them, and that's what Koeman needs to be doing. 6 million a year. However, he's also told us in August what he needed. He told us these weren't good enough, so everybody should have been ready to go. Now, if Koeman and Walsh have sat down and gone, Morgan Schneiderlin's who he wants, like you say, we can understand why they maybe haven't bitten the pie's hand off at the moment. He's on the arse, he's giving it the big one, and all of that. United just don't use him, so you can understand why there might be a little bit of a wobble with him. But Schneiderlin, definitely, the lad wants to come. He went to bloody some park in Salford and took a bungee with him just to do a little video for us. Look at me, Michael Owen's TV. Just having a little fight with his mate, Aussie Ibbo, what shall I do? I'll tell you what works, like get one of those bungee things, it's laughing. He's doing that in a park. There's fellas shooting poo up by him and he's doing it.
To be fair,
I want to come.
Kevin Campbell did it first.
Campbell done it first, but that was years ago. Campbell was a trendsetter. Bonnie Campbell wasn't a loanee who signed him a check. But that to me is that's where Everton have failed this one.
That's the one that's really, really pissed me off, the Schneiderlin one, because I was talking about this on the radio this morning, and I was saying I would just pay what United wanted, and Steve was saying to me, you can't just go and throw money at players, and I think, but he needed to be in that team on Saturday, because ever since that Chelsea game when we got battered 5-0 and just he wasn't in the team, Ronald Koeman and Steve Walsh, whoever at the club, should have looked at it and gone, we can't cope without this lad in midfield. We need another midfielder who's energetic, who's physical, and get him off the pitch, can do all these things. Schneiderlin's available.
But you feel like he has, though, haven't you?
Yeah,
you feel like he has done. They have done that.
And you're looking at this game against Leicester, and while a lot of people say it's only a FA Cup, for me it's the most important game of the season. And you want him in that team because now listen, I'm not saying if he was in the team he would have definitely won the game, but you've got a better chance.
But did the comments from the ATM worry you then? In terms of when Farhad Moshiri said the Premier League's the most important thing. So in other words, really asked about the cup. No, I'm just asking. Does that concern you that there is the people that have looked at it and gone?
Yeah,
tell you what, it's only Leicester. Leicester are playing shite. We're at home. We're on a little bit of a run. You know, so it won't matter if we get Schneiderlin in for this one. You know, we'll get him next week, and we'll move. Is that a worry? Because have people at the club looked and gone, it's only the FA Cup. You know, let's get him, because by all accounts, and what we've been told and things like that, he will be here this week. Like that's the expected thing. He will sign for Everton this week. So why wasn't he signing for Everton last week? We'll end up paying what United want us to pay, won't we?
Yeah.
That's the top and bottom of it, because he's their player. We won't go. They won't go. Oh, all right then. They'll go. It's that, and we'll end up going. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Yeah. I think we might pay it and then go, oh, it's undisclosed.
That's what they do. They'll say it's undisclosed. We'll leak that we've paid 22. They'll leak that they've paid 20. We paid 24, and it'll be whoever you believe. That's all they ever.
All you need to look back to is the Ashley Lees one in the summer. I think Paul Joyce said it was 9 million, and you got journalists in Wales saying it was 12, going up to 13 million pounds. So
look, people are quoting Luckman as being 12 million. It was 6.5.
Yeah.
With add-ons. Yeah. This always happens. Football clubs protect themselves and their own PR, and that's it.
So, but you can understand why I'm saying we had that ATM. And,
do you know what?
And it came. No, listen.
Go on.
It did come. It did transpire that they look at the Premier League as the thing. Right? The people who were doing the negotiations, are they that arsed? Are they going?
I think if you start paying that much attention to things that were said. He also said Bill Kenwright in his proper normal stupid theatre way of doing things, playing to the crowd, because that's what he loves doing, which is basically what he's built a career on, because he's a theatre Dreamcoat and Petticoat is wonderful. He's playing to the crowd and going, oh, he wants more players in than anyone wants, and you think, oh, okay, go and sign them then. Don't tell us you want more players.
I'm only playing devil's advocate.
No, you're not.
I think the thing with that comment.
That comment was like as if he was going, "What does he know? I'm the negotiator. But I'll get us 3."
If you look at what Mashiri said about the league, I think in that sense, I think he's looking at it thinking, if Everton are better in the Premier League in the long term,
I'm only asking
Everton have got a better chance of challenging trophies.
I don't think someone's put it off.
If you look at it through our lens,
we want to win. We
dead impatient because we've gone for so long about.
But I don't think we are dead impatient though, because
I think we're getting more impatient, aren't we?
Listen, I don't think I'm impatient. I've been waiting 22 years.
No.
I'm not impatient.
You misinterpreted.
No. I'm saying it's getting the line now is getting thinner and thinner because
of course it is.
Every year is another.
But this is what I'm saying. People think the line's getting thinner because it's what you'd expect. The manager's only been here 6 months, and Mashiri's only been here just under a year. And I've said this before, and I've said it on other videos. While Bill Kenwright is still involved at the club, I go back to his start. Not Mashiri's start, his start. So I've been waiting for a trophy as long as he's been at the club. If you get rid of him and get rid of, and I'm not being horrible here, but if you get rid of him, then I'll start thinking of Mashiri being the start. Because for me, while he's still the chairman at the club, my start is when he came in.
I understand that, but I think there's a lot of that is correct, but I think you've also got to look at what changes have taken place since Mashiri, particularly since the summer, not so much March and February, March and April, but particularly the summer. We know that we're moving in the right direction, there's no question about it, but for all of the positivity and for everything else that was great last week, it's undone by the Schneiderlin.
Exactly, because you can't come out.
The players begging to come here.
You can't come out and make, we're going to do this,
we're going
to have I don't know, slushy steel on our tops or whatever. You can't come out and say all these things and go, we're the first club in the world to have our training ground sponsored and all this shit, and then go, but we're arguing over 2 million off our number one tap. You just can't do that as a football. You have to just bite the bullet and say, I'm going to pay the money, especially for the
where it annoys me more than anything is we were sat here deadline day and we were getting the text with me, Gabby Adini, Sissoko, they were looking at another 2 or 3 all wanting to sign on that day. Thingy Coney up at Sunderland. We could have spent 80 million on that day. Not saying it would have and all that, but I'm saying potentially. So that then should have gone right. January 1st. That's who he wants. He wants him, and we're gonna in December going off with the money. Go and do it. The transfer agreement can be done. Could have been done December the 1st. Remember Liverpool bought Sturridge years ago, and they've been done for about 8 weeks. So we could have gone to United and gone, how much? 24. Like, there you go. No, in fact, the check, take all that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Morgan. Get in here. But I paraded them against Southampton, and then he would have been
for a player.
His little warm-ups on the pitch.
Could have got the bungee on.
Yeah, got the bungee
especially
on.
for a player. Especially for a player who wasn't playing.
Yeah, he's not even.
He's
not playing in the Man United. He's been told he can leave.
The worst thing is Mourinho on Friday in his press conference basically said, "Just hurry up and come and buy him because I'm not going to play him. Yeah. So you want him and Depay? Come and get them.
You can even have his locker for Nias if you want it,
or I'll ship it up to.
It's just
to Hull for you.
Yeah, that you can't.
That's what's
you can't make sweepings. You can't have an AGM where you puff out your chest and say all these marvellous things you're doing, and imply that the stadium's going to happen and all the rest of it. Well, they didn't even apply that. They said they made it quite negative and then got Joe on to go, "It's happening, lads! It's happening!" They're like, we can't say it's happening, and Joe's like, "It's happening, lads! We're building the road. There's the train station," which would boss it with them. And then you can't do that and just go, "Yeah, but." And then for and we could have. The thing about it is, right? We sit on this and we sit on Twitter and we sit through radio and stuff, and we can say that, and people go, "Yeah, but these are all on the same page." But when the manager comes out and actually says it after the game and basically says, "Look how fucking shite we are. That's why we're not going to win. We can't win the FA Cup. That's why the best we can do is 7th this season." He's allowed us. Oh yeah, no, you're right. No, you're right. He is allowing us to have this discussion. The manager.
Yeah.
The manager's allowing us to have this discussion.
This is why we're having it.
We could have had this discussion and it could be right down. You could split our fans right down the middle and go, "Well, it's not nothing to do with that." The manager's just allowed us to have this discussion. He's told us this is the reason. Whether you think now what you said before, spot on. That some of the decisions he made on Saturday were baffling, like some of the substitutions and things like that. But that's just a separate thing for me. This is you can't put the two things together and go, "Well, you can't have that discussion if he's going to make." I said it yesterday. I will judge him when it's his
of
team.
Course, but I don't think you can be negative. I don't think you can go, "Well, you know what?
But I won't say.
I'm not asked about that because I don't want them there, shite, so we'll get beat." I don't think you can. But I agree with what you said. The Schneiderlin thing for me, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't think it's just.
He wants to come here. It's if we've got all of this money to spend and
why aren't we spending
an elite club, then go and spend it.
But for me,
if it's FFP and wages, come out and say we need to. It's not transfer fees. It's wages, and we need to move a couple off, and then we can go with our target.
The mad thing is, if he was in the team on Saturday, we'd won, and we got a big.
We would have got 2 million.
Would have got 2 million quid. Got 2 million quid on the television.
The other thing about it is, I don't think it's just Schneiderlin. I think he's give them a list.
Like we have got, mate,
that's what I'm saying.
He's got a list.
He's got
a list. But what I'm saying is, this one's the first one.
Exactly.
We always say ducks in a row. But this is the first one.
You know that. You know for a fact that he knows that we need 3 or 4 in.
Yeah.
But if you're fucking about with the first one, how hard's this?
I think the biggest point I took off your rant yesterday was, and it was a very.
Do you have a rant? Not like you.
It was a really good point. Is that what messages is sending to Schneiderlin? I really want you, but when we're arsing about over a couple of million quid for you, it should be, we want you. I mean, Koeman can get out of that by going, "Listen, on Tom, Dick and Harry are arsing about, but you're my number one." He's worked with them before. He's played in the Premier League for years. He knows the game inside out. It's not, Umar Nias. It's not that much of a gamble, is it? It's, let's go and get him.
It's just mad, isn't it? 12 months ago.
That's what I mean. But you just look.
The frustrating thing for me about the whole process is getting a director of football in. It was supposed to streamline this whole thing and make it clear and give a bit more clarity to the situation.
I think
I've
already made this point quite clear on this video, Matt, and other videos, and it's not personal, because I would never make it personal, because I don't know these people personally to make it personal. But if you've still got the same people hanging around the club that, I'm not saying cause the issues, but we're used to working in the old system where it was penny pinching, where it was.
Maybe they're sat there looking at the silver briefcase with millions going,
"Do you know what it is?
What do we do with it?"
I know what it is. They haven't plugged the fax machine in.
The fax
machine. No, but if you
AC Milan.
If that's what happened to the game.
If you haven't
No,
got
but AC Milan
but if
said
you-
we
if
sent
you've got-
Everton a fax about Delafeu.
if you've got the same people who used to work in that system, then I think there's going to be Bill Kenwright, from what everyone says, is an amazing negotiator. You know what I mean? Like if he'd been that girl's father in Taken, wouldn't have needed all that shit on the boat. Honestly, 3 times. What kind of father are you? He was brilliant at negotiating because he had to be brilliant at it. Apparently, you know what I mean. All the deals that's fine. We know some of the great deals that him and Moyes conjured up and stuff. But you got to get to a point where you got to
different now. Isn't
exactly. You got to come to a point where you got to go past that and go. At the moment, we are quite desperate, and when you're desperate, other teams smell your desperation, and if they go, well, Man United are sitting there going, well, we don't have to sell. Morgan can fucking sit on a shelf like an elf for the rest of the year. It wouldn't really.
We're just saying before.
Be like Will Ferrell. You'd have to be like Will Ferrell because
They're-
he's big for an elf.
They're one of the richest clubs in the world. They're not under any financial pressure, and they might be thinking, if we keep them on the books until the summer, you know, someone from China might come in and big
West Brom might come in with a stupid bid.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't need to worry, do they, about selling them? They've done this. They're doing the same with the Depay. For some players, you have to just go, yeah, we'll just pay the money for him, because that's life. That is life. You don't go into a shop and, you know, I know when you go in and buy your Turkish Delight, because I know how much you love Turkish Delight. you go walk in, you don't go, I see you down to your, you know, no one seems to be buying those Turkish Delights. I'll give you 38 pence instead of 40 pence for it. You just go, fuck off, mate, you tit.
People say that to me anyway.
Don't go back, mate. Don't go back in that. You don't go to the bus and go, there's no one on this bus, so I'll just give you a pound. Because there's no one on it, there's no one using it. You just got to pay what you got to pay now and again.
Day, I think there might be a grain of truth in that, is that they're so used to acting one way that when the money's there, they're going, you know, Mashiri's like, why ever give you the silver briefcase with 24 million in?
Money in the bank.
And
Money in the
go,
bank.
Listen.
But that's what it
I
is.
can get it for 21.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like money in the bank and the wrestling.
Just get it.
They don't want to spend it on this one because they're just waiting for the next one to come in. They're like, we only get this cash in once every 3 years.
Mashiri will come in and go, listen, there's plenty where that's going,
maybe
lad.
That's it. Maybe Mashiri just needs to bring loads of
Just put
suitcases
them in and go, look, just there for all the players.
All the players.
Just get it done.
Because
that'd be great.
But they're still going, do you reckon when we finish we can keep the briefcase? I'm going on holiday next week. I could do with another briefcase. Right? I'm just saying.
We'll get a few customers. So
I can imagine Bobby though with the tan, not even needing to, but going, just put the handcuff on there for us. Why? What's in it? It's only me laundry, but looks boss though, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? He'd be like, I bet he'd be like the Caprio in Catch Me If You Can. Go down and get the outfit as well. You know, the pilot's outfit. Be walking around, or like Matthew with the sunglasses. Anyway, I digress.
Not like you.
No.
Just pay the money.
Just pay the money!
Yeah.
Just pay the money. Like, that'll do. I think I don't even know. We probably signed Snyder by now. We go over to the phone and be like, yeah. Double swoop, Everton have signed Depay and
they
Snyder.
just paid 80 million for them.
As
didn't care.
Nias Kone.
Let's just check the phone.
Right, that's enough for us. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. Check out, if you haven't watched them already, check out Baz's instant reaction. My reaction, because it was an instant.
Angry reaction.
Why do you know I was not?
No,
I was not angry.
No,
I was quite calm and just like went through it. As I was going more through it, I just was like, yeah. Matt does things as well. I don't even know what Matt does to me. He just turns up and bangs on the door and goes, "Can I come in?"
Let me in, yeah.
What have you got going on, Matt?
Starts a new European football show, mate.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't even planned this plug, have we? Yeah.
No.
Radio City Talk on 4 o'clock. Paddy from the Blue Room's on it as well. Just doing a bit of a recap and look forward to all European football stuff. So should be interesting, yeah. We'll talk about Messi's free kick for an hour.
Oh, that's amazing. It's amazing.
How about that?
There you go.
Right.
There you go. Go and watch that. And it's better than any Everton have ever done, ever in the lives.
What match European show?
No, Messi free kick.
Oh, started, yeah.
And it might never. See you later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.